Have you ever woken up, unable to move, and felt like something was there? Sleep paralysis is one of the most terrifying experiences ever, where you're half awake and half asleep. And because your brain is in this unique state, it usually starts messing with you, and it's super common to hear footsteps, your name being called, feel a heavy pressure on your chest, and worst of all, see a dark figure right next to your bed, watching you, while you can't move a single muscle. Sleep paralysis can happen to anyone, and if you're not careful, it can actually be traumatizing because of how intense it can feel. So if you don't want to make this experience worse and want to know how to stop it, here are the 7 worst mistakes you can make in sleep paralysis. Panicking is usually the very first thing that happens once you realize you're in sleep paralysis. The feeling that something's off, not being able to move, those strange, sometimes painful sensations, and even seeing dark figures in your room can easily feel like the scariest experience of your life. But panicking only makes everything worse, because in this strange half-awake, half-asleep state, your emotions control what you experience. Every sound, every feeling, every shadow, all of it can intensify the more afraid you get. And the worst part is, time itself can feel much longer when you're panicking. That's why staying calm, even just trying to breathe slowly and let go, is so important. Sleep paralysis has made many people terrified to even go to bed at night. So avoiding this first mistake is something you definitely want to do. Fighting is probably the most common mistake beginners make in sleep paralysis. A lot of people think they can just break free if they try harder, but that's almost never possible. The truth is, in theory, you absolutely can just get out of bed, shake off every strange sensation, and make that dark figure disappear. And this is exactly why sleep paralysis is both fascinating and terrifying. With enough practice and using even more effective lucid dreaming techniques, you can escape sleep paralysis easily. And on top of that, turn it into the most vivid, relieving lucid dream imaginable because you're already inside the dream state. So, why can't you move? Your subconscious controls your actions in dreams, and since it believes you can't move, because that's what your real body is experiencing, you usually can't. Even telling yourself you can often fails. This is something that takes practice to learn, and later, I'll show you the best ways to break free, and other essential tips to make it easier. For now, focus on staying calm, and never fight it. You might think screaming in sleep paralysis sounds ridiculous, and even though I've never personally done it, I get why some people do. Luckily for you, you already know what sleep paralysis is, but the sad reality is that most people who experience it for the first time don't. Now imagine someone who has no idea what's happening. They feel those painful sensations, they see a dark figure standing right next to their bed, and they can't even move. Especially for kids, that can be absolutely terrifying. It's no wonder some of them just want to scream for help, and as you'd expect, that almost never works. Unlike trying to move, you might actually hear yourself screaming, but that doesn't mean it's happening in the real world. Your body is still completely paralyzed, and no matter how hard you try, nothing more than a few weak vocal sounds come out. And even if you could really scream, what would be the point? Trying to wake up your whole family at 4 a.m? Or maybe making the neighbors rush to your house if you live alone? Either way, it's probably better to learn how to get out of it on your own, especially because screaming during the hallucination just makes you more desperate, and that desperation has the same effect as the previous mistakes I've talked about. It only makes everything worse. This is a very important thing to notice, and listen carefully, because these signs are subtle at first, and you need to know what they mean. Recognizing them won't just help you avoid sleep paralysis, it also gives you one of the easiest chances to turn it straight into a lucid dream. If you start feeling a soft vibration or numbness through your body, that's usually the first sign. Then, you might feel your head getting heavy, start hearing strange sounds, or even feel like you're slightly floating in your bed. When that happens, you're getting close. But the most universal sign that you're about to enter sleep paralysis is that weird, unexplainable feeling that something's off. It's a feeling you've never experienced before, like your whole environment suddenly shifts and you start wondering what's going on. That's your warning. The sooner you act, the better. Most people use these signs to go directly from the real world into a lucid dream, and in just a moment, I'll teach you exactly how to do that too. But if for some reason you don't want to, or you're not ready for it, you can still stop it from happening. Just open your eyes and get up the moment you start feeling those early signs. Though even that isn't guaranteed to work, because sometimes when you get up, you've already slipped into a dream, which will probably turn into a lucid nightmare. That's why this should always be your plan B. Since seeing a dark figure is probably the most common and scariest hallucination in sleep paralysis, it's important to talk about it. The figure usually has the shape of a human, all dark, with no face. But even like this, it somehow looks like it's staring right at you. Sometimes it just stands in the corner of your room. Other times, it walks toward you and stops right next to your bed, while you're completely immobilized, and staring at it is probably the last thing you want to do. Unless you suddenly get some sort of main character vibes, looking at it will almost always just make the fear worse. It's like confronting your subconscious biggest nightmare, and if you're not ready for it, you're setting yourself up for a very unpleasant experience. If you pretend that it isn't there, or that it doesn't matter, the whole situation instantly becomes calmer. This one's pretty simple. I know sleep paralysis can feel terrifying, but it's actually completely avoidable and not harmful at all. Don't let it traumatize you. You're strong enough to stay calm, take control, and even turn it into a unique, powerful experience, which I'm about to teach you how. Finally, we're down to the last mistake, which is the absolute worst. This is your chance to turn one of the scariest experiences into something amazing. Instead of focusing on the painful sensations or the dark figure next to you, close your eyes and ignore everything around you. Imagine a quiet place, like a beach, and picture yourself stepping into it. The more real you make this image, the more likely you are to leave your room and enter the dream world. This is actually a proven technique, and if you're in sleep paralysis, you're in the perfect spot for it to work, despite how insane it might sound. So, if you want to learn more about lucid dreaming, consider subscribing and join our new Discord server, links in the description.